All right. So let's dive into this idea of like significant, financial and mental growth. And I think that's something we all kind of grapple with, but not just kind of like someday, but within a year.
Yeah.
We're talking like real tangible progress.
Yeah.
We've got like a stack of insights here from Dan Coe, who's really made a name for himself in like the self-improvement and entrepreneurship world.
Absolutely.
And I got to admit, like sometimes all the advice out there just makes my head spin.
Right.
It's just like, where do you even begin?
Well, that's what's so fascinating about Dan Coe is that he really tackles that head on.
Okay.
He argues that instead of getting lost in this like sea of information out there, you really got to build a solid foundation first. And he calls this mental bodybuilding.
Okay, mental bodybuilding. I'm intrigued. Tell me more about that.
It's like hitting the mental gym, right? So you bulk up by consuming knowledge, you have diverse experiences, you challenge your beliefs, and then you cut away the limiting thoughts, the unproductive habits, and you kind of refine your mindset into something strong and valuable.
So it's not just about learning new things, but it's about like actually actively using that knowledge to reshape how you think and approach the world.
Precisely.
Okay.
And this directly ties into your goal of significant growth within a year.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you want to achieve something remarkable, you need the mental strength to back it up.
Yeah.
And Coe really emphasizes this point that real change actually starts with identity change.
So if I'm hearing you right, step one is like figuring out who you need to become to reach those financial and mental goals.
Yeah.
Like what kind of person can actually achieve that level of growth?
You're getting it.
Okay.
It's about identifying those gaps between where you are now and where you want to be.
Yeah.
And then actively building the mindset that will bridge that gap.
I like that.
Now, Coe doesn't stop at mindset, though. He's really big on setting powerful goals.
Okay.
But not just in the conventional sense.
Not the typical like write it down and stick it on the fridge kind of goals.
Not quite.
Okay.
Coe sees goals as like creating entire systems for how you live. Your deepest goals should be so ingrained that they guide your daily actions, almost like a compass pointing you in the right direction.
So that's less about checking off boxes and more about aligning like your everyday choices with the person you're becoming and what you want to achieve.
Exactly.
Okay.
And he takes it even further with this fascinating idea of the mind as a cybernetic system.
Okay.
He argues that your mind is always seeking information, but it specifically zeroes in on whatever aligns with your goals.
That's kind of mind-blowing. Right. So if I'm constantly focusing on my goals, my mind is actually working in the background to find ways to help me achieve them.
It really is.
Wow.
Which is why setting the right goals from the start is absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
Because your mind will lash onto them and start shaping your reality accordingly.
Okay, this is all incredibly powerful stuff. But I have to admit, like the thought of transforming myself that much in just a year is a little daunting.
Yeah, that feeling is completely understandable.
Okay.
And it actually signals that you're on the right track.
Okay.
Feeling overwhelmed means you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, and that's where real growth happens.
So it's a good kind of overwhelm.
Yeah.
The kind that pushes you to become more than you are now.
Exactly.
Okay, like that.
And Dan Coe offers some really practical advice for managing that feeling and making real progress.
Okay.
One of his suggestions that really caught my eye is the concept of a 4-hour workday.
Wait, a 4-hour workday? Seriously?
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. But how could you possibly achieve significant growth in such a limited time frame?
Well, it's not about limiting yourself to just 4 hours, but rather about making those hours incredibly focused and intentional. It's about eliminating distractions and maximizing your productivity within a concentrated time frame.
So it's not about the quantity of time you work, but the quality of that work.
Precisely.
Okay.
And by creating this concentrated work block, you free up mental space for other important things. Rest, reflection, those activities that fuel creativity and well-being.
Right.
Now, this might sound counterintuitive, but Coe also highlights the power of walking.
Walking?
Yeah.
Like just going for a stroll. How does that tie into achieving major financial and mental growth?
You know, it's more powerful than you might think.
Okay.
Coe argues that walking unlocks creativity and problem solving.
Oh.
It allows your mind to wander, to make new connections that wouldn't happen while sitting at a desk.
I can see that. When I'm stuck on something, getting outside and moving always seems to help clear my head and generate new ideas.
It's not just a feeling. There's actual science behind it.
Okay.
Walking allows your brain to shift from task-oriented thinking to a more diffuse mode where creative breakthroughs happen.
Okay, I'm sold on walking. So we're mentally bulking up setting powerful goals, working intentionally, and taking creative walks.
Yeah.
What else does Dan Coe recommend for this year of transformation?
He has this framework called the domain of mastery,
Okay.
which focuses on 3 core areas of your life, one for income, one for passion, and one for personal development.
I love that. It's like hitting all the major points,
Yeah.
exploring what lights you up, and constantly growing as a person. But how do you actually put that into action?
It's about dedicating time each day to each domain, even if it's just for a short period.
Right.
Think about it this way. What small step could you take today to move forward in each of those areas?
That's a really practical way to look at it.
Yeah.
Breaking down these big goals into manageable daily actions.
Absolutely.
So we're building a solid foundation, taking consistent action and exploring our passions, all while making time for creative walks.
Yeah.
This is starting to feel like a recipe for a pretty incredible year.
It really is. And this leads us to an interesting question that Dan Coe explores quite a bit, the world of the creator economy.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting for me.
Yeah.
I've heard Coe talk about this idea that everyone has a $100,000 product in their head.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
His belief is that we all have unique insights and experiences that are valuable to others. By documenting your journey, by solving your own problems.
Yeah.
You're potentially creating something that could help other people and generate income.
So it's about turning your challenges and breakthroughs into something that benefits others.
Exactly. And he doesn't limit this to just information products.
Right.
It could be a service, a skill, anything that leverages your unique knowledge to solve a problem.
I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together. You're building a strong mindset, setting powerful goals, taking action, and potentially sharing your journey to help others.
Yeah.
But with all this going on, how do you actually track your progress and stay on track?
That's a great question. And it's something Coe addresses head on.
Okay.
He recommends using social media as a public notebook for your journey.
Interesting. I usually think of social media as a distraction, not a tool for growth.
The key is to use it intentionally.
Okay.
By sharing your insights, documenting your wins and losses,
Yeah.
you create a system of accountability and attract like-minded individuals.
It's like having a built-in support system cheering you on and providing feedback.
Yeah.
But are there other, maybe more tangible ways to track progress?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Coe suggests keeping journals using tracking apps or even public platforms to document your journey and hold yourself accountable.
Okay. I'm loving all these practical tips.
Yeah.
We've covered so much ground already, mindset, goals, actions, even dipping our toes into the creator economy. Is there one big takeaway from Dan Coe that really stood out to you in all of this?
One that really resonated with me is this. The future is about competition with your distracted mind.
Wow.
In a world overflowing with information and distractions, mastering your focus is key.
That is powerful. It's not just about external competition. It's about winning the internal battle for your attention.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect place to pause before we head into part 2 of this deep dive.
Indeed. We've laid the groundwork for some serious growth. And in the next part, we'll explore how to take these concepts even further. You know, it's funny you should mention about like the internal battle for your attention.
Right.
Because Dan Coe actually talks about that. You know, he talks about like the different levels of awareness that people have when it comes to personal growth. Levels
of awareness. Okay. Yeah. I'm curious. Tell me more.
He describes it like this. A lot of people are at a level where they're not even aware of the problems that are holding them back. You know, they're just kind of going through the motions, living on autopilot.
Right.
And there are those who are aware of their problems, but they don't know how to solve them.
Yeah.
And then there are those who know the solutions, but haven't actually put them into practice.
I can definitely see myself in all of those stages, like at different points in my life.
Right.
But I guess the goal is to reach that level where you're not only aware of the solutions, but you're actively applying them every single day.
Exactly.
Right.
And Coe highlights that as a creator, you know, it's so important to understand where your audience falls on this spectrum.
Okay.
Because your content needs to meet them where they are providing value at each level.
So it's not just about sharing the most advanced ideas. It's about meeting people where they are and guiding them along their own unique growth journey.
Precisely.
Okay.
And he offers some fantastic advice for doing just that. He talks about using different types of content, you know, short form to grab attention, long form to dive deep, and everything in between.
It's like building a bridge from where someone is now to where they want to be.
That's a Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And just like building a bridge, it takes careful planning and execution.
Mm-hmm.
Co recommends creating a content ecosystem that works together seamlessly. He suggests repurposing content.
Okay.
So taking a tweet and expanding it into a newsletter into a YouTube video, and so on.
That's so smart. It's like getting multiple uses out of the same building blocks.
Exactly. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Love it.
But here's where things get really exciting.
Okay.
The emergence of what Co calls the holistic synthesizer.
Okay, I'm going to need you to break that one down for me.
Yeah.
Holistic synthesizer. What exactly does that mean?
So in today's world, we're just bombarded with information from every direction.
Right.
It's incredibly overwhelming to sift through it all and figure out what's actually valuable.
Yeah.
That's where the holistic synthesizer comes in.
So they're like a curator of knowledge pulling together the best insights from different sources.
It's more than just curating. They're synthesizing. They take those insights and weave them together into a cohesive narrative, making complex ideas accessible and actionable.
Right.
It's about connecting the dots and creating something truly unique.
That's so valuable.
Yeah.
In a way, isn't that what we're trying to do here on the deep dive? Taking a mountain of information and distilling it into something our listeners can actually use.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
And it's a skill that anyone can develop.
Okay.
Co himself embodies this approach, constantly drawing from different disciplines and thinkers to create his own unique perspective. He emphasizes the importance of constantly learning and evolving, never becoming stagnant.
It makes me think of that quote, specialization is for insects.
Exactly. We're not meant to be confined to one tiny niche.
Right.
By embracing a holistic approach to learning, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the creator economy so exciting. It's a space where polymaths can thrive.
Right.
Where those who connect the dots and think outside the box can truly make an impact.
It's like the Renaissance 2.0, a time for multi-passionate creators to shine.
Absolutely.
But with so many voices out there, how do you stand out from the crowd? How do you break through all the noise?
Co talks about the importance of authenticity and depth.
Okay.
In a world of fleeting trends and surface-level content.
Right.
It's the creators who dare to be vulnerable, who share their struggles and triumphs with honesty and insight, who truly connect with their audience.
It's about being real, not just presenting a perfectly curated highlight reel.
Exactly. It's about building trust and connection, but it's also about creating content that goes beyond the superficial.
Okay.
Co is a huge advocate for long-form content.
Okay.
Blog posts, newsletters, podcast episodes, where you can truly unpack complex ideas and provide real value to your audience.
So it's about finding that balance, using short form to grab attention and build a following.
Yeah.
And then leveraging long form to build deeper relationships and establish yourself as an authority.
You're catching on quickly.
Okay, good.
It's about playing the long game, building something sustainable and meaningful.
I like that.
And speaking of playing the long game, Co's thoughts on the 4-hour workday really resonated with me.
Okay, let's revisit that. It sounds amazing in theory.
Yeah.
But how does it actually work in practice?
Right.
Especially when we're talking about building a business or creating something significant.
Co clarifies that the 4-hour workday isn't about limiting yourself to 4 literal hours of work.
Yeah.
It's about prioritizing focused, intentional effort over mindless busyness.
So it's about quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Making sure those hours are truly productive.
Yes. And it's also about creating space for rest and rejuvenation. Co argues that when we're constantly on, our creativity and productivity suffer.
I can definitely relate to that. When I'm feeling burnt out, I'm not doing my best work, and it takes me twice as long to get anything done.
It's like trying to run a marathon without ever taking a break. You're going to hit a wall eventually.
Yeah.
The 4-hour workday is about setting boundaries and prioritizing your well-being. So you can show up fully, energized, and focused when you are working.
It's like that oxygen mask analogy.
Yep.
You have to take care of yourself first before you can help others.
Exactly.
But how do you actually structure your day to make this work?
Co doesn't prescribe a one-size-fits-all approach.
Okay.
He encourages experimentation and finding what works best for you.
Right.
But he does emphasize the importance of having a clear vision for your day, setting priorities, and ruthlessly eliminating distractions.
So it's about being intentional with your time and energy, not just letting the day run you.
Exactly. And that's where having strong goals and a powerful why comes into play. When you know what you're working towards and why it matters, it's easier to stay focused and motivated.
Yeah.
But let's be honest.
Okay.
Even with the best intentions, distractions are inevitable.
Tell me about it. My phone is like a black hole of procrastination.
Right.
Any tips on taming the distraction monster?
Coe talks about something called the task positive network and the default mode network in the brain.
Okay.
The task positive network is active when we're focused on external tasks, while the default mode network kicks in when we're at rest, allowing our minds to wander and make new connections.
Interesting. So it's like our brains need both modes to function optimally.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And Coe argues that the 4-hour workday helps us achieve a better balance between the two.
Okay.
By incorporating periods of focused work with intentional breaks,
Right.
we allow our brains to switch between these networks more effectively, boosting both productivity and creativity.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
But I have a confession to make. I'm a chronic multitasker.
I hear you. It's a common trap in today's fast-paced world.
Yeah.
We feel like we need to do it all at once.
Right.
But research has shown that multitasking actually makes us less efficient and effective.
So all those times I've been juggling emails, writing a presentation, and trying to have a conversation, I've actually been hindering my productivity.
Unfortunately, yes. Your brain simply can't focus effectively on multiple complex tasks at the same time. You end up switching back and forth, losing time and energy in the process.
Okay, I'm convinced. From now on, it's one task at a time. Focused, intentional effort.
Good.
But I have to admit, it's tempting to fall back into old habits.
Yeah.
Especially when deadlines loom and the pressure's on Tark out.
Yeah.
Any tips on staying disciplined?
Coe recommends creating rituals and routines that support your 4-hour workday.
Okay.
For example, scheduling specific times for work,
Right.
creating a distraction-free environment, and incorporating mindfulness practices to help you stay present and focused.
Rituals and routines, I like that.
Yeah.
It's like creating a structure that sets you up for success.
Exactly. And the beauty of this approach is that it can be adapted to fit your individual needs and preferences.
Right.
Experiment and find what works best for you.
That's what I love about Dan Coe's work.
Yeah.
He provides these powerful frameworks,
Yeah.
but he always encourages you to make them your own. He's not about dogma. He's about empowerment.
I couldn't agree more. And that's what makes this deep dive so exciting.
It's not about telling you what to think. It's about giving you the tools and insights to create your own unique path to growth.
I love that.
But that said, there's one piece of the puzzle we haven't explored yet. The creator economy.
Okay. Yes.
We touched on it earlier.
Right.
And I think it's time to dive deeper.
Yes. This is the part I've been waiting for.
Okay.
Coe has some bold claims about the creator economy.
Yeah.
Especially this belief that everyone has a $100,000 product in their head.
Right.
Break it down for us. What exactly does he mean by that?
Coe believes that everyone have valuable knowledge and experiences that can be shared with the world. It's about identifying your unique skills, passions, and insights.
Right.
And packaging them into a product or service that helps others.
So it's not just about being a YouTuber or an influencer.
Yeah.
It's about creating something of value, something that solves a problem or fulfills a need.
You got it.
Okay.
And the beauty of the creator economy is that it's incredibly diverse.
Yeah.
There are endless possibilities.
From online courses and coaching programs to ebooks, templates, and even physical products.
Wow.
It's all about finding your niche and creating something that aligns with your passions and expertise.
But with so many creators out there, how do you stand out? How do you cut through the noise and attract an audience?
Coe emphasizes the importance of having a strong personal brand,
Yep.
something that differentiates you from the competition. It's about being clear about your values, your mission, and your unique perspective.
So it's not just about what you create, it's about who you are and what you stand for.
Precisely.
Okay.
Your personal brand is what makes you memorable.
Right.
What makes people want to follow you and engage with your content. But it's not about being someone you're not.
Right.
Authenticity is key.
I can see how that ties back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Being vulnerable, sharing your struggles and triumphs. It's that human connection that really resonates with people.
Absolutely. People want to connect with real people. Not perfectly curated facades,
Right.
but building a personal brand takes time and effort.
Any practical tips on getting started?
Coe recommends using social media as a testing ground.
Oh.
Share your ideas, document your journey, and see what resonates with people.
It's like treating social media as a laboratory for your brand.
Exactly.
Well-
It's a low-stakes way to experiment and refine your message.
Right.
But don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
As Ko says, you have to be willing to lose followers to gain the right ones.
That's a great point. It's not about appealing to everyone.
Yeah.
It's about finding your tribe, the people who genuinely connect with what you have to offer.
And that's what makes the creator economy so powerful.
Right.
It allows you to connect with people from all over the world who share your interests and passions.
Yeah.
But let's be realistic.
Okay.
Building a successful business in the creator economy takes more than just good content and a strong personal brand.
Absolutely. You need a solid strategy, right? What does Ko recommend?
He talks about the importance of creating a minimum viable offer.
Minimum viable offer. What's that?
So it's about starting small and testing your ideas before investing a ton of time and resources.
Okay.
It could be a simple ebook, a coaching package, or even just a free challenge.
Yeah.
The key is to get something out there and start gathering feedback.
Okay. So we're back, and I want to kind of dig a little deeper into this idea of a minimum viable offer.
Yeah.
It sounds like a smart way to kind of test the waters before going all in, on a product or a service.
Yeah, it really is. It's about validating your idea and making sure there's an actual audience out there for what you're offering before you invest, a ton of time and energy.
Right.
And this approach allows you to get feedback early on, and then you can refine your offer based on real-world insights.
So it's a process of continuous improvement.
Exactly.
Constantly tweaking and refining based on what your audience is telling you.
Exactly. And this is where Ko's emphasis on the scientific method comes in. He encourages creators to approach their business like an experiment. You're testing hypotheses, gathering data, and making adjustments along the way.
It's like being a scientist of your own business.
I love that. It's about embracing curiosity and a growth mindset,
Right.
constantly seeking to learn and improve.
Makes sense?
But let's be real, building a business, even a one-person business, can be tough.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. There are always going to be challenges and setbacks. How do you stay motivated when things get tough?
Well, Ko is really big on having a strong why.
Okay.
When you know why you're doing what you're doing, when it's connected to something bigger than yourself, it's easier to push through those inevitable challenges.
So it's about connecting your work to a deeper purpose, something that gives you that extra fuel to keep going.
Precisely. And he also talks about the importance of celebrating your wins,
Right.
no matter how small.
Yeah,
It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and forget to acknowledge your progress.
that's such a good point. Sometimes those small victories are what keep you going, especially when you're just starting out.
They really are. And even when you do achieve those bigger wins, it's important to take a moment and appreciate how far you've come.
Yeah, I love that.
But let's face it, even with a strong why and a supportive community, doubt can still creep in.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Doubt is a constant companion on this journey. Any advice on how to deal with those moments of self-doubt?
Ko talks about the importance of surrounding yourself with a supportive community,
Right.
people who believe in your vision and who will cheer you on along the way.
I can see how having that tribe of like-minded individuals would make all the difference.
Yeah.
They could lift you up when you're feeling down and hold you accountable when you need that extra push.
Exactly. And building that community doesn't have to be complicated.
Okay.
Ko suggests attending industry events, joining online groups, and even just reaching out to people you admire.
So it's about being proactive and putting yourself out there.
It is. It's about building those connections and recognizing that you're not alone on this journey.
Right.
But before we wrap up this deep dive into Dan Ko's wisdom,
Yeah.
there's one more piece of the puzzle I want to explore, the paradox of personal development.
Paradox of personal development.
You say, I'm all ears.
It's this idea that the pursuit of personal growth can sometimes feel like a constant battle.
Right.
We set goals, we strive for improvement, and yet there's always more to learn,
Yeah.
more to achieve.
It's like you're climbing a mountain only to realize there's another even taller peak behind it.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And Ko argues that this is actually a good thing.
Okay.
It's this constant striving, this relentless pursuit of growth
Yeah.
that makes life meaningful.
I can see that.
He encourages us to embrace the journey, even when it's messy and challenging.
So it's not about reaching some mythical state of perfection. It's about the process of becoming.
Exactly. And that's what makes Dan Ko's work so inspiring.
Right.
He's not just selling quick fixes or easy answers.
He's inviting us to embark on a lifelong journey of self-discovery and growth.
And that's what makes this deep dive so valuable. It's given us a framework for that journey, a roadmap for achieving significant financial and mental growth.
Yeah.
It's been an incredible exploration of Dan Ko's insights.
It really has. And I hope our listeners feel empowered to take these ideas and create their own unique paths to success.
Absolutely.
Mm.
We've covered so much ground from mindset shifts and habit changes to the power of the creator economy. It's been a whirlwind of information, but I feel like we've extracted some truly valuable nuggets of wisdom.
We have. And I think the key takeaway here is that growth is a journey, not a destination.
Right.
It's about continuous learning, experimentation, and a willingness to embrace the inevitable challenges along the way.
Well said.
Yeah.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder all these incredible ideas and start crafting your own path to a remarkable year. Until next time, keep diving deep, keep exploring, keep growing.
And remember, the future belongs to those who dare to create it.